This play is sponsored by the California Civil Liberties Public Education Program, a state-funded grant project of the California State Library.
And now, LA TheaterWorks continues with Mr. Rickey Calls a Meeting, starring Ed Asner, Sterling Macer, and Carl Lumbly.
There are newsmen waiting in the lobby for an historic announcement. Let's not disappoint them, gentlemen. Let's march downstairs and make an announcement that will change history.
Old Jackie made the Dodgers.
He didn't make the Dodgers. He was named to the Dodgers. That's the point. They want a unanimous decision. Let's give them one. Let's go before the microphones and cameras and demand unanimously that we will not stand for easy does it. That a Negro League All-Star team be chosen, that the owners...
Oh, it ain't up to us. Never was, never will be. Don't matter what we say, ain't gonna change a goddamn thing.
I don't think we can win this one, Paul.
We've already won. Rickey made a deal. If we vote for my proposal, he'll have to back us.
We pull a stunt like this. Turn on Mr. Rickey.
This is not a stunt. There are newsmen in the lobby.
I got a half ownership on the line.
Your half ownership is lost. You side with Rickey. It is lost.
But there's always a chance.
Of what? That he'll be generous? He won't. Bill Rickey will not be generous.
We're not going against Robbie.
This is not going against him. Don't you understand? We will never have this opportunity again for as long as we live.
You want to leave? Go ahead. I'm waiting for Mr. Rickey.
Why in God's name do you trust that man?
Because he's never gone against me.
What about the newsmen in the lobby? He was going to use you to get a headline. When it's in his best interest to go against you, he will. It is in your best interest to go against him now.
I made a deal.
You call that a deal? That every time somebody shouts, "Go back to the jungle, nigger," you turn the other cheek?
That's right.
And when somebody spits in your face?
I'll turn the other cheek.
When you take a fastball in the ear or spikes in your ankle?
I'll turn the other cheek.
You've only got two! They will beat you until your cheeks are black and blue, until your jaw is broken. They will beat you till you're dead. You think turning the other cheek will appeal to their conscience? It will only satisfy them. That's what they want. Dead niggers. Who put these foolish notions in your head?
And for him that smiteth thee on the one cheek, offer also the other.
For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Don't quote scripture to me. My father was a preacher. Were Rickey's people ever shipped across the ocean in chains, sold on the auction block and then raped and whipped and lynched on a whim? Of course he wants you to turn the other cheek. He doesn't know any better.
It's called non-resistance.
That must be a Brooklyn word, non-resistance.
You want me to look it up for you?
Non-resistance. In Harlem, we call it tomming, don't we, Bill?
I ought to knock your goddamn teeth out.
That's not very non-resistant of you, Jackie. So which is it? Turn the other cheek or knock my teeth out?
Nigga, this ain't the Schubert. So sit your Shakespearean ass down and wait for Mr. Rickey.
For God's sake, will you stop calling him Mr. Rickey? You're older than he is.
I'm just being respectful.
You're being subservient. You want me to look that up for you, Jackie?
The decision's been made.
We made up our minds, Paul.
Fine, then be non-resistant. Bill's been non-resistant, so is Joe. But I don't think you're up to it. I don't think you can turn your cheek and keep your mouth shut for 3 years.
You don't know me.
Then prove me wrong. 3 years. I'll bet you can't even hold it in for 3 minutes. Don't spoil Jackie's chances. Did Rickey pay you to wear that button, Bill?
That's enough, Paul.
I'm just getting started.
Then I think you should stop.
You think I should stop? What do you know about stopping? You're 70 years old and you can't stop.
I always said I'd be dancing till I was 102.
Because you love it so much.
And I guess I do.
Not because you can't afford to stop. Not because you're so broke you can't buy a 5-cent ice cream. No, because you love it. Ain't that right, Bojangles? Non-resistance made him a millionaire, earned him a fortune, acting the fool, playing the happy, grinning darky. Then lost it all shooting craps.
Cut him off, Clancy. He's had too many cherry colas.
Yes, sir.
See, Jackie, tell a joke. The white folk love that. Don't fight back. Don't stand up. Lord, no, get down on your knees and scrub the floor. Scratch your head, shuffle your feet, and bug your eyes out, and don't forget to smile.
You think I don't know what I'm doing?
You know exactly what you're doing.
You, by this act, You as dumb as the rest.
I buy it, Bojangles, because you sell it. They tell you to be a nigger, and you don't resist. You wave your gun at me because you're too terrified to point it at Mr. Rickey. Make us all proud for once, Bill. Stick the barrel in your mouth and pull the trigger. Put us all out of your misery.
You're gonna stop this shit right now.
What are you gonna do, slug me?
No, I'm gonna tear your goddamn head off.
Slug Clancy. He'd give you a better fight than those stiffs in South America. The Brown Bomber. Fights exhibition bouts for chump change. You tell your uncle Reedus that, Clancy.
I thought we were in this together.
No, we're not. We're on different sides now. You depend on the generosity of people who will let us into their homes only to set the dinner table and clean the laundry, but I will not. You refuse to demand what should be rightly yours from birth, but I do not. You are broke and beaten and pathetic because you let other people run your lives, but I never will.
You better watch your step.
What are you going to do now? Throw a chair? You love to see him fight, Clancy? You're in luck, because he'll be in the ring until he's 102, and even then, he won't be able to pay off all his debts. You want to know what more important matters the Brown Bomber got on his mind? Follow him across town and see how the IRS treats a hero.
Why are you getting so ugly?
Because you voted for Rickey.
I voted for Robbie.
And you're too stupid to know the difference. You've let other people do your thinking for so long, you can't think for yourself. You're a child. Joe Louis can take care of any man in the world, but he can't take care of himself. If I'm telling lies, Joe, stop me. He held his tongue for so long he forgot how to use it. They reward you for that, Jackie. Keep your mouth shut. Do what they say, you'll get everything. Money, fame, the championship belt, a Brooklyn Dodgers jersey, and a little voice in the back of your head that whispers, I hate myself.
Fight's over. You win.
That's you, Jackie. Sit in the colored-only room. Mind your own business. Don't fight back. Don't resist. Wait for Mr. Rickey to open the door. That's you. Take a good look. For this jersey, you sell your soul. Woolen thread. You want to end up like them? Do you want to end up like them?
And what makes you so goddamn high and mighty?
I have done the state some service, and they know it.
No, you did nothing they didn't do.
I didn't sell my soul. I didn't compromise, and I won't until the day I die, and damn everything else. I fought this battle for years. I demanded the integration of baseball while you were still in college, young Jack Robinson.
And what happened?
I didn't ask for it. I didn't suggest it. I didn't accept it when it was handed to me, and I certainly didn't cut a deal for it behind my friend's back. I demanded it.
And what did they do with your demand? They threw it out the window.
I demanded justice and equal power and respect.
Oh, you got respect, all right. Everybody respects Paul Robeson. The only problem is nobody likes him.
Oh, you want to be liked, is that it? Oh, believe me, you'll be loved.
You demanded the whole goddamn world, and what do you have to show for it?
I can sleep at night.
Pleasant dreams. We still got racists and bigots and Negroes not getting a chance. That's what your way's done.
They have never beaten me.
And you never beat them. But I will. So Mr. Rickey's the one who opened the door. So what? I'm the one walking into the room. And if I ever see that door close behind me while you're still banging your thick head against the wall, I'm going to rip the thing off its hinges. Now, you want to spit and curse at me, you join the crowd. But I'm going to turn my cheek, I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and yeah, I'm going to smile when I do it. Because I know this isn't about spoiling Jackie's chances. It's about Clancy's chances and my kids and his. So I'm going to catch all the shit they have to throw our way. Then I'm going to go back into that colored-only room and carry every single goddamn person out on my back.
You found your tongue. I knew they couldn't shut you up, Jackie.
What is this? A game to you? You beat them into the ground just to prove I'm not an Uncle Tom, all because we won't go down to the news conference with you. Well, they fought a war over this shit and we're still not free. You think a news conference is going to make a difference? All right, I admit it. You convinced me. No, Paul, I don't want to end up like them. But I sure as hell don't want to end up like you. You fought the battle all right, you just forgot who the enemy was. dropped a bomb on your own troops. I know your troubles, Joe, but we're brothers in this. Yeah, you know what troubles he has, yet you turn him into knives and cut his throat while the boy watches. Brothers? You spend so much time looking out for Bill's money. Why don't you look out for Bill? See, you can preach justice and respect all you want, but you tell me where the justice and respect is in that. See, I see what I might become. Do you see what you've become? You take a good look. Take a good look and tell me what we have to show for your demands.
You. We have you. And if they silence you, they silence us. We have such strength and power, Jackie, more even than we know. That is why they terrorize us and exploit us and hurt us and kill us, because they know how strong we are. Forgive me, Joe. Please. Bill, I beg you. I understand if you can't. God knows I'm not perfect, but I am trying. Every day I fight, and it hurts. But I love that fight, and I love the struggle. And I love the pain because it's a true pain. It's an honest pain. And it's a righteous pain, and in the end it will lead us to freedom. I will fight for that, and I'll die for it, and I will kill for it, because someday we must answer to someone, and by God, it won't be Branch Rickey.
The door's locked. Robinson, the door's locked. Robinson, open the door. I couldn't find that man from the commissioner's office, but there's a swarm of reporters downstairs. They must have gotten wind of our meeting. Paul, you put them up to this. Clancy, open the door. Clancy, do you hear me? If I have to ask the hotel to open this door, you will all be sorry. Clancy, open the door or you're fired.
You ain't my boss, Branch Rickey. You can't fire me.
I can have you fired.
You do it, and you can go straight to hell.
What about the sports writer, son?
I'll go with you, Robbie.
Mr. Rickey's not gonna like it.
He's got sports writers waiting in the lobby.
What sports writers? See, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Nobody told me about no sports writers. Some folks waited all their lives for this announcement. Branch Rickey sure as hell can wait one day.
Yeah, he sure as hell can wait one day. Damn right, Jackie. They sure as hell can wait one day.
That's right.
When Mr. Rickey returned to the hotel lobby, he had to tell the sports writers that there would be no news conference after all. And the next day's headlines announced the one-year suspension of Leo DeRocha. Mr. Rickey had to wait till the next day to announce that Jackie Robinson was indeed a Brooklyn Dodger.
Yes! Let me have that flash, Joe. A toast to Jackie Robinson. I ain't been so happy since I was colored.
That year, attendance at Negro League games plummeted, and the league soon folded. Bill Robinson, like many of his fellow Negro League owners, never received so much as 1 penny from the major leagues. He never danced till he was 102. He died in 1949 at the age of 70. Over 1 million people watched as his casket was carried through the streets of Harlem. It was the largest funeral in New York City history. Bill Bojangles Robinson, who made over $4 million as a performer, died broke. His friends paid for the funeral.
Hey, Clancy, give me that autograph book.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lewis.
Joe Louis retired from the ring in 1949 after having defended his title 25 times without a defeat. A year later, long past his prime and deep in debt, he came out of retirement to meet the new heavyweight champion, Ezzard Charles, and lost. When Joe died in 1981, he owed the IRS over $1 million. He was a tired, sick, poor man. But everybody, black folks and white, said he was certainly the finest boxer that ever lived.
I expect to hear from you in 3 years.
You'll hear from me all right, loud and clear.
Paul Robeson sang publicly for only 2 more years. In 1950, the United States government took away his passport, and for 8 years he couldn't leave the country to live and work where he was truly appreciated. When his passport was finally restored, he left immediately for Europe, but illness soon forced him home, and he lived the rest of his life in virtual seclusion. He remained an angry, passionate, principled man, but no one listened anymore. As far as America was concerned, Paul Robeson's great, deep voice had been silenced long before he passed away in Philadelphia in 1976. His first year, Jackie Robinson hit .297, led the league with 29 stolen bases, and was voted the National League Rookie of the Year. 2 years later, he won the National League's Most Valuable Player Award. He turned his cheek and held his tongue for 3 years. Then old Jackie let loose, and he never shut up. But some folks say it was the pain of holding it in for 3 years that drove Jackie to his grave at the young age of 53.
Mr. Robinson, can I get that autograph now?
To Clancy Hope, a Yankees fan no longer.
In 1955, Jackie led the Dodgers over the Yankees into the World Series. I heard the game over my Uncle Retus's radio and got so excited, I raced over to see Lorraine and proposed on the spot. She accepted. It's been, 1947, it's been 49 years since Mr. Rickey called his meeting. 49 years. And in that time, as you can see, lots of things changed, and a lot of things didn't. I'd like to think, maybe just for my own sake, but I'd like to think what happened in that hotel room had something to do with it. It's funny how I got those last 2 autographs. The day of me and Lorraine's wedding, I received a letter of congratulations from Mr. Rickey, apologizing after all those years for having me fired and including his name for my book. Then it was some time later, 1972, at Jackie Robinson's funeral. We all went to the funeral mass, and there were hundreds and maybe thousands of people there, all come to see Jackie off. But in that enormous crowd, I spied one familiar face, Paul Robeson. And I'll be damned if he didn't remember just who I was. I introduced him to my son, and Paul signed my autograph book. And then he told Clancy Jr., he said,
"Your daddy is one of the finest men I ever met. He did what no man has ever done, before or since. He told Branch Rickey to go straight to hell."
Then we all shook hands and bid each other luck. And as I walked back to my family, moving through that crowd of strangers who all had nothing in common except for Jackie, it all of a sudden struck me. Lorraine, even though she never understood why I talked so much about Mr. Rickey and Jackie and all the others, and even though she never even cared for baseball, Lorraine was in that crowd. My Uncle Retus, who still preferred the Yankees to the Dodgers, my Uncle Retus was there. Clancy Jr., who was a teenager and never did see Jackie play, he was there. And my brother, who called Jackie and Uncle Tom, even my brother Cleveland was there. We were all there. Yes, sir. All of us. We were all there.
This is LA Theatre Works' production of Mr. Rickey Calls a Meeting by Ed Schmidt. Mr. Rickey Calls a Meeting starred Ed Asner as Branch Rickey, David Downing as the elder Clancy Hope, Tommy Hicks as Bill Bojangles Robinson, Carl Lumbly as Paul Robeson, Sterling Macer as Jackie Robinson, Charlie Robinson as Joe Lewis, and Rugg Williams as a younger Clancy Hope. Sound design by Jeff Willens, courtesy of the George Street Playhouse. Stage manager and live sound effects, Amy Strong. Technical director, Raymond Guarna. Our director is Sheldon Epps. I'm Susan Loewenberg, producing director of LA Theatre Works.